question will come up inside the holy month of Ramadan. The generation over there now are very, young people. So is it compulsory for listen only Islamic music or you dey fast? And if you listen other music, you fast still, good or neither you don't fully fast?
Ramadan, like we make mention, a prescription prescribed by the best of prescriber, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you hear the word prescription, kutiba, it means I don't prescribe for una. For example, when you go to a medical doctor and he diagnose you, then he prescribe for you. There are things in the prescription that you don't like. For example, the doctor says you need for take injection or you need for go through operation. You don't like it, but you have to, because you believe that is a means for you for regain your health back. So you follow the prescription to the latter. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we create, we say, I don't prescribe. We have to follow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribe for with this system in a beautiful way. So we need to try as much as possible by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we follow this prescription, how Allah wants we for duam, now so for duam. When it comes to Ramadan and the issue of listening to dunya music, or we call it haram music, for example, Ramadan, not a time for listening to music. In fact, music is haram, dunya music is haram before Ramadan, during Ramadan, and after Ramadan. In Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. The month of Ramadan, now the month we are in, the Quran was revealed. So one of the things we have hold on to, na Quranization, we need for Quranize with life, connect with the Quran. Somebody go say, well, I know they understand the Quran, but just listen now, pay attention to it. Now what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? He said, when the Quran is being recited, وَإِذَا قُرِيَ الْقُرْآنِ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنْصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. When the Quran is being recited, listen to it attentively and keep silence. For that reason, Allah will bestow a mercy upon you. So we need to ensure that we connect with the Quran, because this is the month of the Quran. If you don't enjoy the Quran inside the month of the Quran, how you go enjoy the Quran after the month of the Quran? That is the question you need to ask yourself. This is the time for the Quran. It's not the time for music. One wonder why you hear the name music. That is sick in it. It makes your heart very sickening. And even they name them, they say new beat, new hit. All the names they get for new beat. Who don't want to let them beat them? New hits. Who don't want hits in life? So even the names and the abnormal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you guidance. People listen to hip hop even in Ramadan. People don't listen to hip hop and now they are hipping and hopping. It's a time for listening to the Quran as much as possible. The Quran is therapeutic. Imagine you listening to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially in the month of Ramadan. The reward out of it is that the Prophet alayhi salatu salam say, when you recite, for example, you are able to recite one letter. Just say alif, you have 10 blessings. Lam, 10 blessings. Mim, 10 blessings. When you say alif, lam, mim, 30 blessings straight. So imagine you reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, the whole of Surah Al-Fatiha, and you recite Surah Al-Baqarah. The reward is immense. It is beyond calculation. That is why we need to ensure that we multiply, we reward as much as possible by listening to the Quran, by reciting the Quran, and try to understand the basic meaning of the Quran. Because if you don't understand, you're not going to feel the Quran. Like I said previously, that if you don't understand the Quran, even if you didn't read Surah Al-Fil, you're not going to feel nothing. There is a surah in the Quran known as Surah Al-Fil. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. If you know they understand what in Allah they tell you, you're not going to feel nothing, even if they read Surah Al-Fil. We've seen people listening to dunya music, then they see what are they run here. And he ask her why they cry. He said, this music, it make a member far. But this same person who is a Muslim cannot cry while listening to the Quran. You know why? Now because he don't understand. And because he don't understand the Quran, he stand not the strong. The Quran, they give you a strong stand in Islam. And one way for that we enjoy the Quran, for that we understand what in Allah they tell you. And this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you in the Quran. He say, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. The essence of the Quran, for that we reflect. We do reflection over revelation. There is no way you can reflect upon something that you don't know. You have to understand what is being said for you to be moved by what is said by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is upon we as Muslims for ensure we Quranize with life. So the best subject we need for whole now na Qur'anization. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Qur'anize your life.